Hello, my beautiful superheroes. Welcome back to my channel, the place where we make the impossible possible. If you're new here, hi. I'm Scarlett Grace, I'm a manifestation coach, and I help people break through their limitations and manifest their heart's desires. In this video, we're going to be addressing and destroying some of the most common blocks that you have that stop you from manifesting your desires. But before we jump into this, if you want to learn how to manifest any desire fast with the law of assumption and Neville Goddard's teachings, then start now by hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you won't miss any video that could change your life. I also have several self-study courses to help you manifest, including a 21-day course on how to manifest your specific person. Coaching is currently closed, but you can sign up for the waitlist for when it reopens in a couple of months. The link for the waitlist is on the actual coaching page, and all the links to the courses, to the coaching page, and everything else are in the description below. So, let's jump right into destroying those beliefs that you have that stop you from manifesting your desires. Those pesky blocks that have stopped you from manifesting your desires fast and efficiently and easily. The first one that I get a lot from many people is, what if I'm not meant to have this? What if this is not meant to happen to me? Here's why this doesn't make sense. This is usually something that people believe if they're familiar with the law of attraction and other manifestation systems before they find the law of assumption. So in many other manifestation systems, they teach you that there is a higher power, there is the universe, God, your spirit guides, the angels, that actually decide what you're meant to have or not. This is a very common belief, but here's why this belief makes zero sense. The reason this belief makes zero sense is because you are the universe. You are God. You are God of your reality. So the universe is not something separate from you. God is not something separate from you. You are a part of God. You are a part of the universe that incarnated here, and you are God of your reality. You're the only person who calls the shots. You're the only person who decides what you get to have and what you don't get to have. So if you have had this nagging feeling, this nagging belief that maybe I can't manifest this because maybe it's not meant to be, maybe my spirit guides or the angels or God or the universe want something else from me, this is the reason why it hasn't been manifesting. Not because it's not meant for you, but because deep down you have this belief or this doubt that, hey, maybe this is not meant for me. But because you're God of your reality, whatever you believe manifests. So if you think, hey, maybe I'm not meant to experience this, and especially if you attach a strong emotion to this, so you think, hey, maybe I'm not meant to experience this, and you feel bad, you feel fear, you feel worry, then reality conforms and says, okay, the rules are you're not meant to experience this because you said so. So in order to break out of this, if you have a desire that isn't manifesting and you've tried hard to manifest it and you keep thinking maybe it's not manifesting because it's not meant for me, the only thing that you have to do, the key to fixing it, is to remember, hey, I'm God of my reality. What I believe is law. What I believe is what reality does. So up until now, I used to believe that maybe this was not meant for me. Right here, right now, I'm God, I can change the rules. I decide that this thing is meant for me. End of story. I can have it. And from now on, every time the thought pops into your mind that says, hey, maybe I'm not meant to have this and that's why it hasn't manifested yet, you stop and you remind yourself that, hey, I changed the rules. I'm God of my reality. I changed that rule. Now the rule says this is absolutely 100% meant for me. A second very common block that is very much related to the first one actually is this. Many people tell me, okay, I'm God of my reality, but you say that there is God with a capital G or the universe, and then there's me, I'm a part of that. But what if God with a capital G or the whole of the universe, not the part I am, doesn't want me to have this, thinks that something else is better for me? How do I know what the universe wants? If you feel that you need to know, despite knowing that you're God of your reality, you need to know if God with a capital G, if the universe actually wants this thing for you. How do you figure out if what you want is aligned with the universe or whatever? There's a very simple way to figure this out. If you have a desire, that desire, it doesn't come out of thin air. It comes from the universe. It comes from God. God literally communicates with you, Neville Goddard says, through your desires. So if you have an honest desire about something, if you really want something, that means that God or the universe actually wants you to have this thing. I know it sounds simple, but hey, things are simple sometimes. If you have a desire, that is God or the universe communicating with you. So yes, God wants you to have this. Yes, the universe wants you to have this. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the desire in the first place. You would have a different desire. The third very common block to manifesting that a lot of you have is this. You believe that what you're imagining is not real unless it manifests in physical reality. And this is completely backwards. Because physical reality is not the real world. Physical reality is just reflecting the real world. The real world is your imagination. So when you're imagining something, just because it's not physically here, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. In fact, there are infinite parallel realities. And when you go into your imagination to experience driving the new car, or experience being on your honeymoon, or experience being in Paris, that is not a made-up scene. You may think that this is something that you made up with your imagination, but this thing is actually happening right now in a parallel reality. And what you're doing is you're using your imagination to access that parallel reality, visit that parallel reality, and experience the thing. So when you're driving the new car in your imagination, this is not something that your mind made up. This actually exists, physically exists, in a parallel reality. Just like when you're remembering your 5th birthday, this is not a fake thing. This happened. It happened physically. Just because you're just remembering it now, it doesn't mean that it's fake. It doesn't mean that it's made up. So think of when you're imagining as remembering the future. You experience in your imagination that you are behind the wheel of your dream car. This is actual physical reality in a parallel reality. It is physical. It is not fake. It is actually real. It's just not what you're experiencing physically right now, but that doesn't make it fake. Just like it is nighttime somewhere in the world and it's daytime where you are, for example, that doesn't make it fake. There are people that are asleep right now because you live in different time zones. But your reality is not more real than theirs, and their reality is not more real than yours. So when you experience something in your imagination, this is literally jumping into a different reality. And if you keep doing that, you will physically transfer to that reality, and you will know that because in that reality, you actually have that car and you will be physically driving that car. But just because it hasn't physically happened to you yet, it doesn't make it fake. If you understand that the reality where you're driving that car is as real as where you are right now and what you're doing right now, you will stop being obsessed with when it is going to happen, because you know you can experience it in your imagination at any time you want. And the more you do that, instead of spending your time and energy and emotions wondering when is it going to happen, how long is it going to take, when you actually go and experience it instead, that makes it manifest faster. And it also makes you feel good. A fourth very common block that many of you have is this. You keep wondering how you're going to deal with it if your desire never manifests. And usually this is expressed in the form of, hey, I know how to manifest. I know I'm God of my reality, but I keep wondering, what if it takes too long? What if this time next year I'm exactly where I am right now, still wondering when it is going to manifest? What will I do then? So here's my issue with this. Why would you be even focusing on what would happen if a year from now you have failed to manifest what you're working on now? This sounds to me like you're in the kitchen, you're making banana bread, and you suddenly become really sad and really obsessed with the thought, what if I never manage to bake a banana bread? What if I never get to taste banana bread? What if my banana bread takes more than 3 years to be ready to eat? What am I going to do then? And you panic about it and you try to figure out how to resolve an issue that doesn't exist. And it doesn't exist because right now you're making banana bread. So why would you be focusing on what would happen if you could never bake a banana bread? You're doing it right now. Why are you focusing on how tragic it would be if you never got to taste banana bread? You're baking one right now. Would you do that for banana bread? Do you do that for all the things that you're making right now? Every food that you prepare? Are you obsessively thinking, what if I never manage to make it ready? What if I never get to taste this ever in my life? Does that make sense to you? So why would you be doing the same thing to your manifestation? Aren't you imagining it? Aren't you experiencing it in your imagination? Why would you even go there and try to figure out what you would do if a year from now it hadn't manifested? That doesn't make any sense. You're trying to resolve an issue that doesn't exist. That's why you feel trapped. It doesn't exist. You're God of your reality. You can manifest anything you want. If you have been working on this desire, trying to manifest it for a long time and it hasn't manifested, ask yourself, have I been wondering from the start what I'm going to do if 6 months from now it hasn't manifested, a year from now it hasn't manifested? Because that may be the only problem. Because if you start wondering, what am I going to do if a year from now it hasn't manifested? You're using your imagination combined with strong emotions, which are what manifests, because Neville Goddard says feeling is the secret. So what are you doing? You're using your imagination to choose a reality, and that is a reality where your desire hasn't manifested. You slap on those strong emotions, so you're basically pouring your manifestation powers into this reality where it's a year from now and it hasn't manifested. So if you get there and it hasn't manifested, congratulations. You know how to manifest. You just manifested a crappy reality for yourself. So how about you stop trying to figure out an issue that doesn't exist? The issue, what if it's a year from now or 2 years from now and it's not here yet, doesn't exist. You control what happens, and the only thing that can make it not be here in a year from now is you obsessing over that reality where it won't be there a year from now. A fifth very common block to manifesting is people believing that they don't know how to manifest or they cannot manifest. They literally say, manifesting doesn't work for me. Here's why this is a block. This is a block because everything around you got manifested by you. You don't have to know that manifesting is even a thing for you to manifest. You manifest automatically. You've been manifesting from the moment you got incarnated here, from the moment you were born, and you will keep manifesting whether you know about manifesting and the law of assumption or not. The difference is, if you know about the law of assumption, you get to decide what you're going to manifest. If you don't know about the law of assumption and you think that things just happen, you will keep manifesting based on your expectations. So if you generally had a good life and you're happy, you will probably manifest mostly good things. And if you didn't have a very happy life, you will probably manifest a lot of crappy things because it all happens automatically based on your beliefs and your assumptions. But just because you haven't consciously manifested your big desires, that doesn't mean that manifesting doesn't work for you. This is literally impossible. This is your reality. You have manifested everything in it already. And maybe the only thing that is stopping you from taking control of those manifestations is this belief that, what if manifesting doesn't work for me? What if I'm not good at it? You're amazing at it. Everything around you, everything, the place you live, your friends, your job, your studies, the way you look, you have manifested it. It doesn't even matter if it's something wanted or something unwanted. It takes the same amount of effort to manifest a wonderful reality that it takes to manifest a terrible reality. So no matter where you are, no matter if you love yourself and your life or not, you have manifested all of it. Congratulations, you're an awesome, incredible, talented manifester. Now take control of those manifestations so that you can actually choose the things that you want to experience instead of having the feeling that they're just handed to you, whether you like them or not. If you enjoyed this video, then leave me a comment below to share with me and with others what was your biggest takeaway from this video. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon because I put out new videos every Sunday to help you manifest an amazing life.